on this self-development, self-awareness, personal improvement path that I've been on since March of 2016, a lot of things about me and how I understand myself and how I understand life, they've shifted radically. And I remember early on in my journey, early on, we're talking 2016, 2017, I started to realize that I had zero appetite and I had zero patience for, let's call it, in my mind, these are my words. So, my wife, this doesn't ring true to my wife when I'm talking about how I see this thing, but it is true for me when I say I don't have a whole lot of appetite or a whole lot of patience for superficial conversation. When I think about conversation, and I've done episodes on this before, there's like three levels of conversational intimacy that I have experienced, that I've identified. The first level of conversational intimacy is very superficial, and it's about the weather and sports and politics and economics, and it's not that they're not important. It's not that these elements aren't important, and it's not like they're not interesting, but there's really not a whole lot there. There's not a whole lot for us to personally to do something with. And I like to do something with conversation. I like for there to be a purpose and a meaning and some kind of a transformational ability that we derive, capability or capacity that we derive from conversations or discussions or relationships. I realized a long time ago that I don't have a lot of really, really close friends. I have a very small group of people that I meet with, that I kind of hang out with, I guess, befriend. I do have my Inner Wealth Mastermind, and they are not. My mastermind is not at level 1 conversational intimacy, but it's our mastermind, and although there are pockets, like we have our spring retreat next week, there's going to be pockets of communication. There's going to be pockets of friendship, of fellowship we're going to the Outer Banks, North Carolina. There's going to be pockets of that, but the work that we're there to do is not level 1 conversational intimacy. There's a depth to it. There's meaning. But when it comes to just people who I'm really tight with in life, that I would say that I do life with on a regular basis, I don't have many. But what I have are a few that go really, really deep. And level 1 conversational intimacy is all about surface level conversation. There's not a lot of depth to it. And when Angie loves learning people's favorite color and their favorite sports teams and their favorite bands, she loves those things. And those elements of life don't really light me up. There's nothing for me to sink my teeth into with that. I often say, and it sounds kind of asshole-ish, that I really don't. I'm not interested in learning the names of your husband and your wife and your kids and all these things. To me, that's level 1 conversational intimacy. I want to get to level 2 and 3. Level 2 is more about the mental plane. It's about your vision, your goals, your strategies that you're using, tactics that you're using, processes. It's more about the mental realm. It's more about what's happening in your mind and what are your plans and what are your ideas. Level 2 is is a level below level 1 conversational intimacy. It's less superficial, and it's more getting inside of the person, but it's only one level deep. And there's still, in those situations, there's still, for me, it lacks a little bit of depth for it to be truly, truly interesting. I think there's some value in level 2 conversational intimacy, which is really about the mental world, which is really about, what's happening in your mind. There's certainly some value. There's certainly some benefit. There's certainly a connectedness in level 2 conversational intimacy, but it's not the depth that I'm looking for. Level 3 conversational intimacy is all about the emotional world. It's all about where spirit lives in you, inspired in spirit. It's the flow of energy through you. Emotion is energy in motion. Level 3 conversational intimacy is really about, tell me what you're feeling in there. Tell me what's going on in your body. I want to know what fears you have. I want to know where you feel fear. I want to know where you feel joy. I want to know what lights you up. I want to know what inspires you. I want to know what uninspires you. I want to know when you feel bored. I want to know when you feel encouraged. I want to know when you feel something that lights up your body and gets you into rhythm and gets you into action, or is a big stop sign. And the reason I say all of this is because back in 2016 and 2017, when I was paying attention to my body, whenever there'd be level 1 conversational intimacy, I could feel resistance in my body, that I was out of alignment and I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I wasn't tasting the depth of life that I wanted to taste, and I wasn't feeling the depth of life that I wanted to feel. And there's it's not boredom, I wouldn't say, but it's just when you're in conversational or level 1 conversational intimacy, where it's all just about the superficial, surface level stuff of life, there's this void of inspiration in me that loves to get deeper and get inside of somebody to really understand what's happening in their mind and body. When I look at my clientele, when I look at the people in the Inner Wealth Mastermind, when I look at my one-on-one clients, there is nothing superficial about the way we relate with each other. And like I said, in the Outer Banks, we will have pockets when we're not in session where there will be socialization, there will be connection, there will be, it's almost like it's our retreats, our Inner Wealth Mastermind retreats. They're almost like they're family reunions in a way, shape, or form, where it's people that haven't seen each other for 6 months, except on a Zoom call, get together, and now we want to spend some time and want to be together and want to experience life together. But in the work that we do, there is a depth that goes beyond anything superficial or surface level. I worked with a marketer, and I've actually done a podcast episode with her, and her name's Ashley Mae Fernandez, and she's a genius marketer, and I did some work with her, and she helped me identify like the ideal client in my life. And there are two distinct types of people, but they share the same commonality. They share the same desires of what they're actually after and what they actually want in their life. But they show up differently. My ideal one-on-one client, and this is where it's going to get a lot woo, because she's an astrological marketer. She does, she uses human design and astrology and gene keys and all the stuff that I love to do some marketing. She's the first marketer that didn't ask me who my ideal client was, but told me, and she was spot the fuck on. But she said, for my ideal one-on-one client, it's Scorpio energy. And it's power through truth. It's transformation through truth. It's deep. It's meaningful. Scorpio energy doesn't want to be told what they want to hear. They want to be told what they need to hear so that they can transform, so they can be reborn, so that they can level up, so that they can step into another level of power, so that they can step into another level of their potential, so that they can step into another level of their purpose. Scorpio energy is very driven, very determined. And inside of them, in their bodies, there's an emotional wave that they're always trying to understand, that they're always trying to manage, that they're always trying to master, that they're always trying to become in tune with. It's seemingly with pure Scorpio energy, the workings of the world and how to work in the world and how to create wealth and success in the world and how to create an awesome life outside. It seems easier for Scorpios than most Scorpio energy, than most signs. And they have a tendency to level up fast. They're driven and determined, and they work. And when they work, it works, and they create extraordinary external lives. But their work is really understanding what's happening in their body and mastering their emotions. And when I'm in collaboration with my Scorpio energy clients, and I'm not saying Scorpio, that's the Scorpio sign, is the Scorpio energy. When I'm in alignment and I'm collaborating with them, they do not want me to just let them speak a bunch of nonsense and just let it go and not address it. They're looking for me to listen to their words. They're looking for me to listen for their limiting beliefs. They're looking for me to listen to their limitations that they're speaking. And they want me to poke them in the eye and point them out, because what they want more than anything is transformation. They don't want it. They're okay if it's messy. They're okay if it doesn't feel good. They know that the key to transformation, the key to their rebirth, the key to their leveling up is going to be getting uncomfortable, and they want to be told what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Transformation through truth. And they're driven and determined to transform their lives and to level up in every aspect of their lives. The Scorpio energy one-on-one clients that I have are wealthy and successful, and they're fit, and they have awesome marriages, and they're always looking to level up. And I like to say where most people are trying to go from from 50% or 60% to 80%, my Scorpio clients are trying to go from 99 to 99.1%. And they know that the key to going from 99% to 99.1% is in one belief. It's in one perception, it's in one perspective, and a little tiny shift that's going to unlock a new dilemma or new paradigm in their life. It's going to reshape a dilemma. It's going to create a new paradigm in their life. In my mastermind, it's a completely different vibe. My mastermind students, that they're Pisces energy. My ideal mastermind students, it's Pisces energy. It's all about spirituality. It's all about spiritual principles. It's all about energy healing. It's all about the mystical. It's all about transcendence through love. It's all about the power of the community. It's all about the love and the connection and the relationships and the depth and the level 2 and level 3 conversational intimacy. It's all about the connection. It's all about acceptance and love and authenticity and just leveling each other up and being empowered by other people that are going in the same direction. In the mastermind, this is why we have a book study where we study self-mastery concepts. And we have a soul sciences call where we study astrology and human design and gene keys and the life you were born to live and soul contracts. It's because the Pisces energy clients that I have, the mastermind students that I have, they want to know everything about all of the mystical and the more esoteric parts of this human experience. So they're willing to study some things that most people won't. They're willing to read some things that most people won't. They're willing to let go of beliefs and perspectives that most people won't. They want the depth of spirituality. They want the mystical. They want to understand life at a different level. It's not just about leveling up in their life. They want to understand life. They want to comprehend what this is all about. And whether it be Scorpio energy or whether it be Pisces energy in the one-on-one or in the mastermind, these are really deep people. And they don't play on the surface. They are deep, multidimensional people that are curious about life, that are curious about themselves, that want to understand everything that they need to level up in the dimension that they want to level up in. And Scorpio, it's more about the internal transformation to create more external success and wealth. And the Pisces energy, it's all about transcendence through love and spirituality. But neither of them play at the surface level. When I go to network, the thing, and I don't go to network a lot. And partly the reason is because I'm always more curious about what's really, really deep and meaningful in somebody's lives. And typically at a typical networking event, you really don't have time to get that deep. But when I do network, I'm looking for one person to let me in. And I'm looking for one person to really unlock the door so that we can get into level 2 and level 3 conversational intimacy. At the Choose Your Destiny Live Intensive Workshop, it's pretty typical for me to get inside of somebody's mind and get inside of somebody's awareness and start to unlock like pain and suffering and grief. And I'm not a therapist, but when I help them understand what they're really thinking and what they're really feeling and how they're really showing up, I invite them to let it go and surrender the pain and surrender the suffering. And that is conversational, like third dimensional, third level conversational intimacy. I do not play at the surface level. And this is why I don't have a whole lot of just shallow relationships where it's just about getting to know you. No, I don't want to get to know you. I want to get to know what's inside of you, what's happening inside. I am psychologically and philosophically curious. The impact for me in this world has been by realizing the impact that I make and the impact that I've had on people and the impact in my life is realizing how I don't typically just fit into the material world. And the messages that I send and the information and the wisdom that I share, it doesn't connect with the typical human being in this experience who wakes up and goes to work at 9 o'clock, comes home at 5, has a wife, has a kid or a couple kids, or has a spouse, has a house, and is just looking to retire, like, and has, some Netflix shows that they're always watching. It's just, that stereotypical human life. Those typically those people don't show up in my life. The people who show up in my life are the spiritual warriors who really, really want to dive deep, who want to get into uncharted territories in authenticity, in vulnerability, in rawness, and really creating a safe space for each other to be absolutely true to ourselves without being judged, without being criticized, or without being corrected in some way, shape, or form. The people in my life want to go deep, and I want to go deep with them. Now, why am I saying all this? Because years ago, I thought I was a little bit of an asshole, and I was at times accused of being a little bit of an asshole because I was bored in certain transactional, interpersonal connection. And I thought it was something that I needed to fix in me in order to not need to go deep all the time, that there was something wrong with me. But you know what? The thing that most people think is what's wrong with you is truly your gift and truly your superpower. Because if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, you're not built like everybody else. We are not like them. You listen to this because you want depth. You want meaning. You want the philosophy. You want the esoteric. You want truth. You are a seeker of truth. And you want to unlock a whole new level of mastery inside of you because you know that's where freedom lives. If you're listening to this, that is what's in you that's trying to get out. And if you're listening to this, you probably do get bored in level 1 conversational intimacy interactions and transactions because you're not built like everybody else. When I was working with Ashley and we were talking about my ideal client, she said, Mike, you're a weirdo and you're here to teach weirdos. You're a misfit and you're here to teach misfits. You're here to be on the cutting edge of philosophy and spirituality and mysticism. And you're here to speak that shit into the world. And then those people, those few people who are after that will lean in. But you're not for everybody. And I knew that at the core, but to really, truly lean into that has been absolutely liberating and absolutely freeing and totally fulfilling in this lifetime. I want you to reflect on what types of relationships light you up. What level of conversational intimacy do you live in? And what level of conversational intimacy do you allow yourself to fall into? Because for me, I don't want to play at the surface. I don't want to play on the surface, and I don't want to play in the superficial world. I want to get to know your problem, your obstacle, your internal challenge so that we can unlock that shit. So you can naturally and authentically step into a whole nother level of wealth and success in the external world. But until we get in there and I understand what's in there, I can't help at the depth that I can help, at the capacity and the capability that I can help. But once I'm in there, we'll unlock all kinds of magical shit, I promise. Guys, if any of this sounds like you, whether it be the one-on-one client and that Scorpio energy that's driven and determined, that really wants the truth and transformation through truth, or if you're that Pisces energy and you want the spirituality and you want the mysticism and you want the depth of community and you want to be around people that are doing the same work and want to feel at a deeper level, if either of these sounds like you, I'd love you to shoot me a message. And you can email me at mike@innerwealthglobal.com and get in connection. You can go to innerwealthglobal.com and send me a message through the website. But if either of these sounds like you, I would love, love, love to have a conversation with you to see if we're a good fit. I am looking for one new private client. I haven't taken on a new private client in a long time. That's a one-on-one relationship. That's that person that's already wealthy and already is successful, that is looking to unlock a whole nother level of themselves. And if that's you, I would love to have that conversation. If you're craving a spiritual community that'll allow you to be a weirdo, because we invite all the spiritual misfits into the world, into our community. If that sounds like you, lean in. We'd love to have some new family members. Guys, I love you. Next week, we'll be in the Outer Banks in Outer Banks, North Carolina. And Angie and I are going, when we get to the Outer Banks early in the week, we're going to do a podcast episode. So next week is going to be all about our journey and our travel to our Inner Wealth Mastermind retreat in the Outer Banks, our spring retreat. We do this twice a year. We do it. We go to an awesome place in the spring, and we also do go to an awesome place in the fall. We went to Gatlinburg in last October. We've been to Miami and Denver and San Antonio and Sedona and like I said, Miami, Gatlinburg, and now Outer Banks. We're going to hit up some really cool places, and if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, spending a couple days every couple months, spending a couple days with a spiritual community that is nothing but love and inspiration, we'd love to have you part. But message me, Mike at innerwealthglobal.com, and we'll get in touch. But until next week,